Next, I'm going to introduce a young woman, Cory Katuna. I met Cory at a meetup at Impact Hub Boulder. I was expressing that I needed a graphic designer for Climate Colorado, and I was looking for somebody to help us out with some design and so forth. And I started explaining what was going on, and after a few exchanges, we do some art and create some things. And she goes, you know, and I explained that we're working on this project to reach out to businesses and employers about reducing source 3 emissions and how can we get there. And she goes, have you ever heard of Tom Chi and rapid prototyping? I go, no, and she fires me this link and I watch the video. I go, God, here's an answer to how we can solve the climate crisis, or at least a potential opportunity in a process that leads us there. Cory is an amazing facilitator and communicator and has this amazing heart and passion towards rapid prototyping and seeing this change, and a community builder. The people that she's brought in to help us with this process over the next 2 hours this evening and then tomorrow morning are absolutely remarkable. Out of the woodwork, literally out of the woodwork. And they are all remarkable people. So I'm going to turn the rest of the event over to her until I close this evening. And at that time, I'll give you some instructions about what's going to occur tomorrow morning. And Cory, take it away.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. So 2 things kind of to start. I was thinking in Suzanne's presentation, why am I here? Really, why did I come? And just to be really honest, after that beautiful presentation, one of the reasons was because Bob called me and told me that Irene Villar was going to be here. So, yeah, thank you. That was awesome. The next thing, I want to get everybody up. This right now, up.
Can we do it?
Rapid prototyping is rapid and it's active. And I'm sorry if you're comfortable. You're not going to be comfortable for the next 2 hours. It has ended. Comfort zone has ended. All right, yeah, stretch a little bit, and then when you're done stretching, just cram the front.
Let me go up and...
Everybody bring your stuff up, move up as close to me as you can. Just get super snuggly. Chairs, chairs. You can stay as you wish. You can sit on the wood. I mean, how much are you guys willing to crowd? Don't smell that great. User testing, rapid prototyping, cool. So I'm a UX designer, user experience designer. I recently quit my job actually because I'm more importantly an activist. And I went to the People's Climate March with, I don't know, maybe a group of these people. Yeah, a solid group of these people. On the bus, the only bus that represented Colorado, actually. 37 of us. So I quit my job as a user experience designer. And what user experience is, it's all about investing in people. It's all about service. It's all about making sure that this thing, this product or this service or this experience is as positive and intuitive as possible. So my job as a user experience designer was to figure that out with apps, which I didn't care about, especially sports apps. But I started to learn more about this, and it became really important that user experience applies to everything. Books, think about, have anybody here read Rework? Solid book. It's like 3 pages and then a drawing with a cool title, and then 3 more pages of text and then another drawing, and it's as short as it can be, and everybody's like hating on the younger generation because we don't like to read. So books with good UX get read. Companies with good UX, let's go next. Get customers. Who loves the Mountain Sun as much as I do? Solid. They treat people well. Their business model is based on making sure people have a positive experience whenever they go there, whenever they eat their food, whenever someone welcomes them into the door. And this can also be applied to activism. It can be applied to policy. Good UX should be applied. Who was just talking about, Zuza was talking about, Copenhagen, yeah, it's on. Their UX is on point. So why shouldn't we be doing user testing and making sure that our policy and our activism and the way that we're rallying around important causes is consistent with some of these leading design principles, these leading startup principles, like rapid prototyping and agile and lean. We know these words, some of these buzzwords. I wanted to also ask y'all, oh, my water bottle. Anybody see my water bottle up there? If not, no worries. Thank you. Anybody want to throw out a couple examples of bad UX, even in politics, anywhere?
Well, the lack of like a Yelp for politicians.
The lack of a Yelp?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. That would be good UX for, thank you, for policy. What else? What? Negative ad campaigns. Terrible UX. That makes everyone feels bad. What else? What about? Postal service. The DMV. What's worse? What's actually worse? What's that? Ooh, that was brutal. That was miserable. That could have used some tech UX too. That was job applications. Excuse me. Okay, so I want to make sure that I get through the specific, most important things so that when we start prototyping, nobody's begging me to clarify. So UX is all about, it's owning the responsibility to take a little bit of time up front to figure out what people actually want, what they respond well to, what they like. And it's not hard. There's a lot of this idea that it's going to be super hard and it's going to take this massive investment. But actually the worst investment, which we all know, is when you sit around in a meeting and you have these guess-a-thons, as Tom Chi calls them, where this will take us about 3 weeks to finish. Pretty sure. Guess. For sure. Guess. What else? Nobody's going to like this. That's a guess. How do you know? No, we're sitting in a meeting. We are sitting in a room where only the people that are talking about the planning for this thing, it's guesswork. So instead of sitting around and having these guess-a-thons, which, when we have these guess-a-thons, we spend another 6 months, we plan it out, we dedicate some of our budget to it, and then we see it all the way through, and then we figure out, once it's in market, whether or not people like it. What a waste of time and energy and money. It's wasteful. And lean theory and agile theory and rapid prototyping and design, the startup world, especially in Boulder, is really getting the hang of this. They're really stopping to waste time. There is a lot less time wasted. So the important thing is that it's dedicating that time up front to people. And the alternative, like this, we see the DMV is like the cheapest route. It's making a building without any visionary, with no beauty. There's nothing to it. It's not for people. There's not walkways. So it's easy to do that. It's easy to just set up a DMV and have like a little ticket dispenser for people to go figure out what order they're in. That's easy. It's cheap. It's a cop-out, actually. I would call it a cop-out. So the goal is, how do we produce quality stuff that people like, that people respond to in as little time, with as little money, with as little energy as possible? Because what movement is more urgent than this one, than ours, than the one thing that has us all here right now? I don't know anything that's more urgent. All of our lives and the lives of the future. This is the most important thing I know of. So let's let it be as urgent as it is. Rapid prototyping. The best way I've heard this described is learning instead of guessing. It's just learning as fast as you can. It's ruling things out as fast as you can. Testing a bunch of ideas and figuring out what's going on. It's my incentive to go as fast as I can. If anybody needs to sit, want to do a sitting. You could keep standing though if you want. I don't mind it at all. Do you like jumping jacks or do? Suzanne should be up here leading simultaneous yoga. You should. You should. So it's learning instead of guessing. And what we're really going to do is we're going to break out into these groups, which you all know. Matter of fact, facilitators, would you get in the back with Steve Stevens, Chris Ellis, Jim Smith, Irene, Zuza, Bob Menzies, and Suzanne and Chris V. In the back, and Like Jason, will you just organize all the notepads with everybody? Cool. And Mary. So we're going to break out into these groups. We're going to split off into which challenge was the most meaningful for us. And the facilitators in the back are going to read off these challenges once I'm done speaking. And so you'll be able to kind of go into which group you want to help solve. So there's going to be problems. And based on some of the principles of rapid prototyping, we're going to be trying to solve problems as fast as we can by brainstorming, silent brainstorming for 5 minutes, voting, and then actively solving the problem with as few resources as possible. Cool. So that I was talking about rework. In this book, Rework, here's a quote. You know the least about a project at the beginning of it. Don't put too much emphasis on making plans. You will uncover tons of information while working on your project that will alter your plans. Just runs it home for me. There's a Tom Chi quote that I'm just going to run by. That's Tom Chi. He directed Google X when they invented, was that me? Google Glass, self-driving cars, insulin monitoring contacts. He was the director of the team that invented some of the most innovative things that we know of today. That's him, and I took his workshop. Rapid prototyping is hard. It's going to be hard. I need a commitment right now that everybody, this awkward, standing, uncomfortable thing that we're doing right now, it's not over when I'm done talking. We're going to stay uncomfortable. It's going to be it's not how humans work. We don't work by coming up with ideas and then dismissing almost all of them. We come up with ideas and then we get attached to them. We hone in on them. We deal with analysis paralysis. So it's hard, and just commit to that. Work on getting through that frustrating phase of this sucks, I'm frustrated, I'm flustered, I'm confused, I don't know, what am I even supposed to do? Just focus. Your facilitator, as we've been working together for a while, they're going to be able to direct you. They're going to listen to you. They're going to get to know you. They're going to understand where to kind of delegate, how to make this most actionable. So what are we doing here? Tina Fey said, whatever the problem, be part of the solution. I have a sticker on my water bottle. And I think that's such an important point that's been reiterated a few times today. It's so easy to talk about stuff. I talk about stuff all the time, and it's kind of worthless. Talk is cheap. It's hot air. I can talk about everybody just needs to wake up. People still don't know about fracking. But what does that mean if I'm not doing anything about it? It's completely useless. It's actually just like an energy suck. It's a fun sponge. Oh, have I just been? So what are we doing here? This movement requires action. It requires us to be unreasonable yes-sayers. It requires us to be a little bit out of our comfort zone and work and basically solve problems that have never been solved before in way shorter time than we've ever had to solve problems like this. It's completely unreasonable. It's completely unlikely. So what we have to do, what this movement requires, is for us to beat the odds, period, point blank. There's no argument for that. So it's hard. Now we're going to get into how it works. I'm going to just do this as fast as I can because your facilitators know what they're doing. So trust them.
We'll be able to pass this around so that they can enunciate the challenge.
Cool. We'll do that in a second. Thank you. The roles. There's the leader, which are the people that you saw speak and whose names I just called off. There's the facilitator who directs traffic. And then there's the participant, which is you. So y'all should be thinking about what group you want to be in. Actually, maybe now is a good time. You want to have them just say the challenge so you guys can all be thinking about which groups you want to be.
I'd actually like to hear the rest of the directions.
You want to? Yeah. Solid.
I'm distracted thinking about the challenge, and I won't listen to your directions.
I love that. Thank you. Solid. Cool. Just kidding. Back to me.
Back at you.
Here's the how. Here's how it works. Okay. Guidelines. These are the most important things for this to work. The facilitator is boss. Done. No blocking or diving. Who knows what blocking is? That won't work. Perfect example. Who knows what diving is?
Talk about this a minute.
Yes, thank you. Wah, 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 wah. Spare us. This is rapid. 3, check your ego. Dismiss it. repeat. This process is going to keep going. It's really, really easy to be attached to an idea. It's really easy to feel like you know better. It's really easy to feel like your background and your pedigree make you a more worthy speaker for the... No. Prove it. This is about proof right now. 4, this is real life. It's not hypothetical. I know we're all in a room. We're isolated from everything. It feels like it's kind of fake. It's real life. You're going to be invited by your leaders, by the facilitators afterward to just follow up. Monday. What are we going to do Monday? What happens when this is done? What happens once this summit is over? What about a 3-month retrospective? What about that? So this is real life. If you're engaged in your project, in your challenge, in the solution to your challenge, which you will be, expect for it to keep going. Think about it like when you're writing down your brainstorming ideas, what will you actually carry out? What do you actually like the idea of working on after the summit's over? Respect the process. Like I said, it's hard. And this is my own little disclosure. Productivity and momentum are the priorities. What's actually going to get shit done? Sorry, word from startup world. What's actually going to make things happen? Action, productivity, momentum, real forward motion is more important than these guidelines or my rules that I'm about to tell you. You're going to think like, no. What's actually going to make something happen? It's hard to understand now, and it's going to get really easy after your facilitator calls you out like 2 or 3 times. Okay, here's the outline. I guess I'll blast through it. For the first 5 minutes, you're going to get into groups. We're going to make that really fast. You have less than 5 minutes to get into your groups to choose. We've got less than 10 people per group. And then we're going to do a little icebreaker. Next 5 minutes, understand the challenge, and you can ask your leader clarifying questions. So if you're confused about what this presenter spoke about and what you're about to be solving, ask a few clarifying questions. Don't deep dive. Don't do that. Just ask like, by when? Or, that's all I could really think of. Next 5 minutes, silent brainstorming on sticky notes. 1 idea per sticky note as fast as you can. Come up with, stick them on as if this is it. Stick them on your paper, your ideas for the solutions to the challenge. You'll be able to explain them quickly after. 1 idea per sticky note. You've got 5 minutes. Everybody silent brainstorm. How are we going to solve this? Go creative, disruptive. It's easy to think about the email campaign. It's easy to think about the ways that we're already solving problems or already working on problems. What is going to be exciting for you to work on after this? I like the word disruptive. Think about what's going to be like the new weird thing that you're a little scared to say because people might think it's weird. I want everybody to be doing only weird, kind of scary things like that.
How do we find out what stuff is actually out there in the solar system? Somebody actually said they would plant something like comet.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome. Okay. The next 10 minutes, you're going to go around and explain your ideas as fast as you can and really be nice about this. You've got a group of people that just wrote their ideas, so now is not the time to dive. Get through your ideas as fast as you can. Your facilitator is going to stack the sticky notes that are redundant on top of each other because next step is voting. So we're going to star or tally our top 3 favorites, which is the next step. And so don't star 2 sticky notes that are the same idea. We'll have those stacked. So that was the mark your top 3. Next 20 minutes is prototyping. I've got slides for these. Prototyping and testing. Icebreaker, had to just funny, right? Understand the challenge. How can we solve the challenge? Another thing, be thinking about future and solution oriented instead of problem. Like I don't really like this whole awareness thing. It's just like awareness of the problem. What about the future and the solution? What's next? What are we doing? What's getting shit done? Explain and stack. Continue with your top voted idea. Hold on to your second and third. It'll come in handy. In some cases, I've given facilitators discretion in all cases, I've given facilitators discretion to, if you've got a challenge that basically only needs a little bit of brain power in an area, have other people in your group take another couple sticky notes, ideas that got some votes. Just start working on those. If you get some momentum, pull people over to that. It's really honestly about action. It's really honestly about momentum and productivity. It's not about following this process and hoping something comes out of it. You're all responsible for making sure something comes out of it. Prototype. We're thinking about what is the most useful thing I can be doing. I just talked about that a little bit. It's not hypothetical. Because of this, we're in like a conference, and none of us have anything in common except for Colorado and the environment, right? And we speak English, actually. So we've got 3 things in common. Otherwise, there's going to be a wide range of ideas that we're going to be solving. What is most useful? Expect there to be something that you're confused with. Feasibility and user experience are the priorities. Can this work? So for example, if you're going to I like this idea, have a brewery sponsor beer free beer for a year for every person who volunteers to help out with your little garden. I don't know. If you could get a brewery, just call breweries right now. Starting during prototyping phase, start calling breweries. Will you sponsor volunteers for gardening? And work with them. As if you're getting paid to do this. It's not hypothetical. It's seriously not hypothetical. Okay. Testing phase is important. And so this prototyping is 20 minutes. 20 minutes to make as much progress as you can. Next phase is testing. So from a few facilitators will have a few users or participants from each group go to other groups and act like users. Because a lot of these things you just need to see whether or not it makes sense. See whether or not this brochure that you just designed is going to fly with the average person. Does it make sense to you because y'all just talked about it in your little group? Does it make sense to someone who wasn't talking about it? Does it work? Would it make them come to an event? And users, when you're volunteering, when you're going over and acting like the users, put yourself in that place. Act like you're walking into a cafe and there's a little flyer on your table and you're looking at it and think critically. It's not hypothetical. This is real life. So you're looking at it. I remember Tom Chi in the workshop, we drafted up this email and he was the user that was going to come over and check out our email. So he looks at the subject line. He's like, I honestly don't even want to continue doing this test. This is completely unengaging. We were like, oh, sorry, thanks, got it. So facilitators and leaders need to be taking notes. What's just not working for people and what is? And what about when people are like, wait, are you guys really going to do this? Cause, sign me up. That's some good feedback, but put yourself in these situations. And if you guys need to sort of ask for more orientation or ask for a little bit more context, that's fine too. Tom Chi. Okay, next step is to iterate based on the feedback you got from your testing phase. So you'll get some feedback from the users, and then you'll get a test, or and then you get to iterate. Or if they're just if you've made no progress, it doesn't seem feasible, nobody really likes it, just choose another sticky note off your thing. The goals are productivity and momentum. Action. Facilitators, let's go. Pass the mic.
Okay, here we go. Challenges are up. Everybody pay close attention to the challenges. Choose the ones that you're attracted to and move to them based on that attraction.
Hi, everyone. My name's Jake McCaffrey. I just want to quickly expand and reiterate what Cory was saying. This will be challenging and it will be uncomfortable, but we're going to have a heck of a lot of fun, so get excited. I am working with Chris Ellis, and our challenge is create sustainable and scalable business plans for developing a pathway to energy literacy from grade school through college.
So the challenge for me, and for anybody who would like to join me, is to brand and package a win-win-win building energy efficiency service package that's replicable model to propel climate action. So to find the model that gets people to take action, the action that they want to take to save energy, and find ways to help cities do that, to help the citizens do that, and to make it a business model that entrepreneurs and the energy industry, the renewable energy industry can thrive on. And we're over there.
Okay. Yeah, on my last slide, this is Jim Smith. I did the the electric vehicle presentation. And on my last slide, I listed a few possibilities for challenges. The first one is the one that interests me the most, but I'm flexible. The challenge that I would like to have us work on would be how to get adoption of free electrical vehicle charging as a worker benefit, so that companies, employee benefits, so that companies would install and make available for free charging stations in all workplaces.
Hi, my name is Raz Gormley. I'm going to be facilitating with this group back here, Suzanne and Chris. And our challenge is to build a network, a grassroots network of 1,500 empowered activist leaders across the state of Colorado in 30 to 40 strategic cities to create real systemic change and determine our own energy futures on a local and statewide level.
Hi, our challenge here with SUSA is to how to most effectively and the fastest of ways inspire and engage leaders of color to activate their own resources for the climate fight within their own platforms.
Or any other marginalized groups that are not yet fully represented in this group.
Great. Okay, and before we break off into groups, I've got one
more.
I apologize, as you were.
How to spread the culture of personal responsibility in climate action in people's energy and water usage in their own lives, i.e. electricity, natural gas, and water. Thank you.
Thank you. And here's, I guess, the most important piece that I didn't say in the beginning. Today we've got another hour and a half of this. So we've got an hour and a half, so it'll be pretty rushed. 1 hour. So we've got 1 hour of this. Tomorrow we've got a little over 2 hours to dedicate to this. So tonight, if you want, you can spend some time. There's a little networking event after that Bob will talk about. Tomorrow, your teams, your presentations are going to do, or your teams are going to give 5-minute presentations up front. So after some more breakout session rapid prototyping, your teams are going to give these 5-minute presentations based on what we learned, what worked, what didn't, and how we need help. And that's going to be the most important piece right there. What kind of help we need. Because then that's going to put us right into this cross-pollination phase. For a few, we'll have time to say, I'm a designer, I do UX, you guys need website work. So that's the goal. We're going to break out, talk about what kind of help we need, cross-pollinate, offer help, and then dig into the final stages of the presentation.